We're constantly telling each other, listen to your gut, listen to your instincts. What if you go out on a limb listening to your gut and you think that you can trust somebody and then you end up being wrong? One of the most important parts of our jobs is diving in with with somebody that you have faith in, like I did with Mark. I just thought he was a great director and I wanted to work with him. It was just like, I'm ready to just kind of go do something completely different than anything I've ever done, because I trust you.
We're on the set. We're 3 days away from principal photography, and it's time to go to work, really. I'm not really sort of big on sort of like drumming people what I think they should be feeling or what they think they should be told. I think it's important just to put it out there and just hope that they kind of get what you're trying to say with the film.
The idea here was to have a bit of a Hitchcockian thriller geared towards a younger audience.
This is a film all about what lies beneath: coming of age, grief, duality. They're all there. And I'm kind of just hoping that when people get to the end, they can work out what's happened. All the clues are there.
The origin of the project came from director Jonathan Mostow, who wrote a short story that the script is based on. And Jonathan and his partner Hal Lieberman developed it for years.
What I loved about the script was that it wasn't about gore and scaring people with blood. It's all just very well-developed characters, and you find yourself kind of getting scared for these people from a personal place.
It is a movie from a mother's point of view, and also from a teenager's point of view. And I think the two of them are locked into this battle of who is going to be in control. But a mother's instincts are usually right.
Playing within a genre where people make snap judgments, whether, this is a good character, this is a bad character, this is somebody who does this and this is somebody who does that. And I think this script and this film does a really good job of kind of playing against that.
It just kind of plays on everybody's fear of whether or not you can trust yourself to make the right decision, or whether or not you can trust your instincts about people.
What happens in the film could actually happen. And that's what makes it so scary, is that you don't know who's living down the street from you. You don't know who lives next door.
Oh. Sorry. You scared the piss out of me.
Jennifer, the minute you meet her, you realize that she's exceptional.
Not Donnelly anymore?
She walked into my office before we even read the script. We were set up as like a general meeting. And I couldn't figure out if this girl was 30 years old, if this girl was 18 years old. She just has this sense of wisdom about her.
She has an amazing presence. She can do so little, and so much is read from her face. I love in the film, there's a real stillness to her performance.
Do you think somebody could actually live out there?
No, definitely not.
I love horror movies. There's a lot more thinking on your feet. If you have a big scene with another actor, I can always go over it and rehearse it, but how in the world are you gonna rehearse running upstairs screaming and crawling on the floor? And it's really just sitting there in 5 seconds before he calls action, just playing it over in your head, but then he calls action and it could be completely different. It's very spur of the moment. You don't know what's gonna happen until you just do it.
And action!
Hey, what time is it?
Like 2:30.
Oh my God, that guy was supposed to be here at 1 o'clock.
It's fine, we'll just wait.
It's very funny when we first met. I was so excited. She was playing my daughter, and so I was like, hi. She didn't know who I was because I had my glasses on, so she thought I was some like psycho publicity person or some agent. So it was interesting that our first moment was kind of, in a weird way, complicated. And then we just, I think, developed a lot of respect for each other and a real friendship.
Oh, she was unbelievable. She's so talented, and she asks real questions that really get you thinking, what are you up to? I think that sometimes you kind of get into a mode where you're just kind of on autopilot. It's like, all right, shoot, shoot, shoot. And she would actually kind of stop and be like, well, wait, why would we say that? Well, why would we? And then it's like, oh, right, that's a good point. Let's think about that. Brian?
Yeah, I thought it'd be nice if we all got to know each other.
Okay.
When I got the role of Ryan, I kind of looked into a lot of different material and watched a lot of different videos on all sorts of different characters and people, and tried to create this sort of mystique about him while learning a lot about psychopaths, because it's kind of a common theme in the film.
Max is a really great actor, and he can just turn on and off, and it's very strange to watch the light in his eyes just kind of get dark the instant Mark calls action, and then all of a sudden he's just like this different person. It doesn't feel like acting with Max. It's very strange and scary.
One quote that resonated with me when I was playing Ryan was something that Charles Manson said in an interview. They accused him of being guilty, and he said, guilty? He said, I wouldn't do anything that I felt guilty about. There's no wrong if it's, you don't feel like you're doing anything that's wrong. It's bizarre, but yeah, I kind of had to take on as much of that mindset as possible while filming, while at the same time being off the set, lighten the mood as much as possible.
Shooting the movie, I'm still surprised that we didn't make a comedy. We were laughing constantly on set.
You don't understand, like, I've been walking around like this. I didn't know that I had a train.
It really lightens the mood. You know, you have to film and you have to be really serious and people are dying. So when you're not rolling, it's nice to be able to cut loose.
Thank you.
And Mark is like a little kid. In the best way a director should be, he goes to work and he plays. He loves his actors. He makes them feel very relaxed. He gets the best work out of them because they feel like they're doing a movie with him. It feels like a big romper room where you're all just playing together. And he creates that atmosphere and trust.
I never imagined we'd be shooting this film in Ottawa. I think it's a great little city to shoot movies in.
The house at the end of the street is really scary. Everyone was so scared to be in there, and it was very moldy and dark and smelled weird, and we were always imagining all the scary things that must have gone down in that house for real.
The thing about locations is you go into these people's houses and you spend a couple days in them, and they take on almost like they're your house. You know where the bathrooms are, you know where the bedrooms are, you know your little spots. Lisa Soper, the production designer, she just did an amazing job, you know, from turning a very ordinary restaurant into a classic diner, or turning one house into something a little odd, you know, about Ryan's house.
You know, that house is the reason why we can even afford to rent this house.
Really?
Yeah. Double murder. Kind of a drag on the real estate market.
People got shot on our block. Nobody ever cut our rent.
When I grew up, there was a house that was on our street that was called the Red Barn, where apparently like every family that had moved into it for a certain period of time, somebody died from something. One person committed suicide, went to the Golden Gate Bridge and jumped off. Their elderly person died, and the house cleaner didn't know what to do, so they hid them under the bed and left them there. I don't know how true all of it was, but it definitely made for good ghost stories as a kid.
There's always ghosts in a red barn. You don't paint a barn red if you don't want it to be haunted, in my opinion.
Action!
You need to leave now!
What? Why?
Eva Link, our great little discovery. You go into these smaller cities to cast movies, you never quite know how deep the talent pool is going to be.
Action!
This is actually my first movie. I love it. This is so much fun.
With Eva, we were shocked to see how talented this young little girl was. She came in, read, I don't think she did much more than a high school play maybe, but she's a real talent.
Action!
Today we are doing the scene where Carrie Ann escapes for the first time.
Carrie Ann, no!
We had a relatively short period to shoot this film in, and everyone was really dedicated to really working with Mark to bring these characters into balance with what the script was, with what realism is, and making it yet a fun movie.
For that month or two that I was away from my family, I want the best actors to work with, and I want a great director to guide me. And I feel like in this film, I had that.
It was something completely different than I had ever done. That's why you do movies, to kind of do something that throws you so completely out of your comfort zone and to do something different and kind of learn about every single genre.
Everybody was just working towards the same end game. In large part, it's because of these actors and the way they mesh together and the way they take their jobs really seriously.